The world is beating them down hard enough
all the time.
So if it's something that was a relational crisis or a big disappointment, I mean, I didn't get the award I wanted. Yes. I didn't get the job I wanted. I didn't get didn't get picked for casting in a play. Or in a, or get to play first string on a sports team. Those things all are really, they make really, really hard days. Yeah. And what we're trying to do is like buffer that so that it doesn't turn into a hard month and a hard year.
Yes.
Like, let's have this be what it is. Let's grieve it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. And really kind of get in there and let God open up for something else, you know?
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the Well-Grounded Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. We are two lifelong friends sharing life over coffee and conversation. And I am Leigh Ann.
I am Diane.
And we would love for you to join us today. This is how we hang out. This is usually the way we do this. We just talk and talk about life, talk about our kids, talk about husbands, our faith, everything. So we're just so happy to have you here. Today, we're going to take on big
emotions,
big events, big moments. So I'm going to let Diane kick us off here.
So I know for me, big emotions cover a gamut of lots of things. We have graduations, celebrations, firsts, lasts, so many momentous occasions, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, everything. And as your kids go from small kids to big kids, those emotions just keep getting bigger and bigger. Yes. I really don't know how else to say it other than that. Like it really does.
The stakes feel higher, the intensity of things.
And we just wanted to take some time today to just really kind of delve into that and, you know, help our listeners really understand that it's okay to have some of those big emotions right along with your kids. Right. I mean, we kind of ride that with them. Right. And things. But before we do that, we're going to jump on over to our latte moment today. And it is a vanilla chip Frappuccino, a similar drink to one of those great retailers that we all know and love. But it's a great, simple recipe. And there are so many of these online that you can just look it up. Remember, it's a Java chip Frappuccino. And you can find those online, and we'll also post it in our notes. And it's very easy. I was looking up the ingredients because, again, I'm someone that needs less ingredients is better for me. And you really have 4 ingredients between coffee, milk, ice, chocolate syrup, and chocolate chips. So, and you can always add that whipped cream as a garnish. We thought this would be a great summer fun drink.
Summer refreshing.
You can get a whole bunch of this and make it as a family. You can do this if you're going to hang out at the pool one night, just do something fun like that. So we thought this would be a great way to just have a great summer refresher.
So good. So good. It's always a treat. This was like one of the first coffee house drinks that our younger daughters would order, like a sweet drink. Yes. You know, it's very desserty.
And if you do order it, you can order it without the espresso so that it can be just, my son would get that all the time because we didn't let him have coffee.
Oh yeah. When he was younger. It's like younger, almost like it becomes more of a milkshake kind of thing. So in that family, so that's awesome.
It is very fun.
That's awesome. The espresso, it makes us a little jumpy sometimes. So
definitely.
All right. This is a big one. We're really just here to verbally process. Thank you for joining us. We have a lot going on in our lives. Yes. So we just want to share with you some things, kind of our thoughts as we go through this and just, go for it.
I know for myself, big emotions has been a part of my kind of DNA. I live with a husband who is an amazingly awesome adventurer, and we do lots of big things, whether it's with our businesses or with our families. And it's just, life is big. And what's kind of, Leigh Ann and I have talked about this, is it's a John 10:10 moment. We kind of live that, living life to the full. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I just think it's a great way to have encouragement in our family and just to be able to walk alongside Jesus as well. Yes. So I feel like that's always a big thing.
I'm going to jump in because we know John 10:10. We started talking about doing this podcast and we realized that we separately both really live on a foundational verse in our lives is John 10:10. So I'm going to share that with you now, but that's just something that we have in common. And so we say it by the verse reference because we quote it so much.
Absolutely.
But we don't assume that you know that.
Yes.
So we're going to just share that with you that Jesus said, I have come to give you life and life to the full. but the thief has come to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yes.
And so we know when things are coming up and there's a crisis point or there's conflict or there's something, like we can just kind of line that up. Is this for our good? Is it for life, abundant life?
Yeah.
Or is this something that's here to steal, kill, and destroy? Now, not every hard thing in life is bad. Sometimes that's just part of
life and challenges.
Exactly.
And everything.
So that's not always
and growth opportunities.
Exactly. So sometimes we have to process through things and go through hard seasons or hard things. And it's not necessarily the devil after you or something like that. We're not saying that. We're just saying in general, if it's about life and it's about strengthening families, strengthening relationships, honoring God, those are things that we know are from him, and things that are here to destroy, to tear down, to break relationships, to do that kind of thing are not from the Lord. So,
well, and as my kids have gotten older, what I've realized is that's those types of times in their lives is when you pray more, because you're praying that hedge of protection around them. You're praying that they're not going to be, in the throes of whatever else is out there in the world, that they're just going to be steadfast. And it is definitely a constant prayer for me, because I just always feel like that's something that no matter how far they are from me, whether it's at home, at school, at college, that I just feel like they need that protection prayer.
Yes. And when they're little, we're with them all the time. And this is not in, there's not that sense of worrying like what's going on when I'm not there, because they're with you so much.
Yeah.
But as they get older, there's a new level of that intercession, of that prayer over them, of keeping that focus on, okay, God, I trust you. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to have fear about these things, but really try to embrace and to celebrate.
Absolutely.
So I do want to circle back, because I interrupted you. I'm so sorry about celebrating things and the big things, because you have 4 kids, we have 3, and we are adding another son-in-law. So we have 3 kids, a son-in-law, and then another son-in-law, because our middle daughter's engaged. So we are just looking down the table at dinner.
Yes.
It's just going, we're getting bigger and bigger, right? So everything, you don't want to miss out. You want to be present and be involved in whether it's this child's birthday or this daughter's wedding or this graduation or whatever. So how is that, how do you stay in the moment of that? How do you, leading up to that, like planning for that, like give us some of your
I know you've talked to me about my planning skills.
I love it. I love it.
It is one of my strengths, and it's my big word in our family is intentionality. And I think it's very important that,
the fruit is there.
You think about, what does the next 3 months look like? How are you going to put those, events into your calendar? How can you make it work? Because every person, I think, needs to have a celebration, know, and I really, my heart goes out to the parents that seem to have, birthdays all in the same month or things like that, because I don't know how I managed it, but I have a June birthday, an August birthday, a November birthday, and a February birthday. So intersperse the other holidays in there. It's like a 12-month celebration in my family. So we always have something that we can celebrate, but it actually works out really great for them, because they definitely have that time to be celebrated.
Yes.
But it's not always easy to do that, but I think it takes that intentionality that you do have to plan for it. And that way they also feel special, because you can involve them in the planning.
Right.
You can help them. They can, be in part of the process. It doesn't always have to be a surprise. I know sometimes lots of people like to do those surprise parties and things, which are fun, I think, on milestones, but I think in the day-to-day or the year-to-year, I think it's a lot of fun to involve them.
So we're very anti-surprise in our family. We love the anticipation of it. And I think it's my personality probably influencing my family, and I admit that, but I will enjoy the calendar meeting. Putting it on the calendar, looking forward to it, thinking about it, shopping for it, counting down for it. So you're involved all the time. It's not just like a one and done.
Yeah.
We've put all this work in and there's an hour of something, you know, but there is that feeling sometimes, whether it's prom or a big birthday or senior year or senior parties or something. We put all this in and it's over. Like it comes and goes so fast. So trying to something that, I know I've seen you do really well. The fruit is there. Your kids are all great party planners too and stuff, and
learn from the best.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. They were literally like apprenticed into this, So, but I love to see that and just trying to take that value for it, because what I don't want us to say is like, it's all about the party. It's all about the event and it's about the connection. Like you said, that intentionality is a relational piece, that we're not doing this because it's just, we have to have the biggest and the best. It's because we want that individual in our family to feel loved and celebrated.
And that's a great point. So like a celebration doesn't mean an event. Like a celebration could be going to the beach together, a family dinner. It could mean just carving out time and having a picnic in the park. Right. So I definitely want to come across that a celebration, it can mean many different things in your family, you know, so you just have to find what works for you and just make that intentional. And of course, pictures are a big part of it. Now that we all have iPhones or a smartphone device, it's certainly easy to capture those moments.
Yeah.
I was a big picture camera person. And so, you had to wait for those pictures to develop, or even yet, you would take way too many of one and it wouldn't even come out. And so now it's great that you can almost edit and be able to share photos instantaneously, which is a great thing.
And I use that as my memory now, because I can't remember what day did we have that dinner? I don't know. I got to look at the photos as it's like a memory checker for me too. I will say, just want to make sure that we touch on some of these things that we're bringing up and kind of running on, but that celebrating on different budgets, on different time constraints, like you have everybody home for one weekend. You may not be able to go on the long trip. You just can't get them all together, and some of those things. But I do feel like the planning is the thoughtfulness. The planning is the heart behind it, and saying, this matters. We're not going to let it like sneak up on us and then be like, oh, we didn't get to do anything, just kind of looking ahead and reserving that time, especially with those adult kids. Like you have to say,
get on their
calendars. Right. And I've been trying, I can get a little review card from my kids, but I've been trying to say, we want you here. Here's the plan, so that they can have the option.
Sure.
Because sometimes at the last minute, they just physically can't be there.
Yeah.
But if it's something that I'm going to go the extra mile to let you know this is happening, we want you to be involved in it.
I could probably learn from you on that one, because I probably don't give them that option very often.
This is the plan.
This is the plan, and I expect you there.
And that's a family culture. That's fine. And that may be
not the best way to do it.
But you know what? No, I was going to say, I think the more people you have, there is that point of like, we've got it.
Sure.
Make this a priority.
Yeah.
But there are like, I know the road warrior moms here, I don't want to miss this stuff.
No.
And I know that is overwhelming to have, especially when you have younger kids at home, to stay involved with your college kids or with your young adult kids that have moved out of the area.
Yes.
That is very challenging, because you feel like you're picking one over the other. And I just want to say grace. Like, try to keep it even, try to balance it out.
Sure.
I'm a middle child, so we'll have another episode on that. I've invited some middle children perspective on this show. So, but anyway, I just feel like, that's something that we can consider.
Yeah.
So some of the things we've talked about with graduations, weddings, even big high school events, like things and college events. And
I know for me, like last year I had a college graduate and a high school graduate. So I felt like I was on two sides of the spectrum the entire 6 months leading up to that, because they were different occasions, but both big in their own right. And it's it was fun because they had a lot of similarities, because they're graduates and class of 23 and all those kind of things, but very different at the same time.
Right.
And so one was launching into true adulthood, where she was looking for a job. She was trying to find, where is she going to live after college, how everything was going to work out.
Right.
And the other one was just leaving all of those last. There was the last prom, the last time with her friends. And it was very emotional.
Yeah.
It was an emotional ride last year. And so this year I have one college daughter who's graduating, and I'm just going to say my season will kind of complete for a little bit. So I can probably recuperate after this and catch my breath, but it's great. I mean, I think my encouragement to everyone out there is just to really understand that each child is different. They're going to process life different, and to just kind of hone in on that. And you have to decide, like, how do you get to the heart of it with each of your child? You know, I love the 5 love languages book by Gary Chapman. And I love that each person kind of processes life differently.
Right.
So you kind of have to learn which way that they really learn how to know what's in their heart. You know, we talked last time about their desires of their heart.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to really search that and help them find what's going to be the best for them as well.
And we weren't intending to have this be about celebrating individual kids, but that's a good conversation to also have. Is communication with that individual is going to take you so far.
Sure.
Because if you are able to say, you know, what would mean more to you?
Yeah.
Having a bunch of big events and busy, or having some quiet 2 friends to dinner kind of thing, you know, whatever that is, communication is going to carry you really far.
Absolutely.
So moving that from those words of encouragement, you know, the world is beating them down hard enough
all the time.
So if it's something that was a relational crisis or a big disappointment, I mean, I didn't get the award I wanted.
Yes.
I didn't get the job I wanted. I didn't get didn't get picked for casting in a play. Or in a, or get to play first string on a sports team. Those things all are they make really, really hard days.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is like buffer that so that it doesn't turn into a hard month and a hard year.
Yes.
Like, let's have this be what it is. Let's grieve it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And really kind of get in there and let God open up for something else, you know?
Absolutely.
So
well, we talked a little bit when we were kind of content developing today, and we just said that, you know, when our kids are little, you know, and I'm not saying this to all of the toddler moms listening here.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not saying this in any kind of a flippant way.
Right.
But I sometimes would go back to that stage of life in a heartbeat, because you could soothe over their tantrum or their tiredness with apple juice and animal crackers and a good movie, and life is good. But as they get bigger, and as they start getting bigger problems and bigger hurts and bigger things that they have to develop and just deal with, it's hard. And it's hard on a mama's heart. Like it's my heart sometimes just... by the end of the day, like I am just worn down. And I love what we've talked about here, and you have some great encouragement about it.
I just think that the transition, just embrace the transition, and motherhood is a series of transitions, right?
Yeah.
Any relationship
Absolutely.
is, but motherhood in particularly is seeing what's a little bit ahead. And sort of I needed to get emotionally ready for it. I just sort of appreciated it if someone who was a little farther down the line could say, hey, this is coming.
Yeah.
There's something down the road here. So this feels really big. I've been the one in the checkout line with the crying kid and trying to get out of there as fast as I could. And people are looking at you and all that. And I hate that. I hate that for every young mom.
Yeah.
That
it's hard.
Feeling of, oh, wow, you've got your hands full. You know, it's like, thank you. I know I'm good. You know, so, but
and maybe our encouragement is to say, listen, we lived through it.
Yeah.
We did it. Multiple times.
This is a blessing. This is a blessing. And it really, your life when your kids are young shifts really quickly.
Yes.
In a matter of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
When your kids are older, you want to be able to say, I'm going to make that decision for you and I'm going to help you, but that isn't your role anymore. You have to make that transition to support, to an advisor, to a friend, and if
a confidant.
Yes,
they
being
tell you
able
things
to
in confidence.
to be able to pray and not necessarily fix it.
Yeah,
not say, okay, we're going to leave the park early because you're not having a good time today. You know, you can't say that when they're on their job. You know, you should just leave early. Like, I mean, I would say that, but you shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
my children are like, you say that all the time. Just go home and get a treat. You need a treat. You know, get yourself a treat. I say that all the time. But I just want to encourage you that the next season is coming, whatever that is, whatever that looks like.
I like what you said. Your mom even shared with you when you were younger about that. I think that's a real encourmienturement.
Yeah.
You want to share that?
Yeah. Just when things were like really big to me, like the 8th grade dance was really big in my middle school. And like, it's like your first time to have like a date or an escort to that, kind of thing. And so it was like, that was the huge deal. And I remember her saying, this is sweet and this is important, but prom's going to be bigger.
Yeah.
And then college dances are going to be bigger. And then your wedding is going to be bigger than that. So don't think this is the only thing that's going to matter to you ever. Yeah. So remember to keep it in perspective that it's this one event, but there's other fun things to look forward to too. And I think it took the pressure off of that disappointment if it didn't go great. Yeah. If your prom wasn't a dream come true. Yeah. Okay, it was a night. It was hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you had made some, good times with your friends or whatever, but there's more coming. There's good coming. So, yeah.
Well, one of the pieces of advice I remember you gave to me when I was getting into the teenage, you've had, your oldest is just a couple years older than mine.
In small group, we always had like the oldest child.
So it was great to just have a little glimmer of what is next. And I remember you told me one time that just wait, when they are about to go to sleep, that is when they're going to want to talk to you. And especially if you have daughters. And I can attest to it. It's with my son as well.
Me too. My son
too. Listen, they get you down. They tell you this when you're tiredness.
Yes.
But I love it. And I know to anticipate it.
Right. And not to be irritated and annoyed. Oh, why are you wanting to?
And if I go into their room and before that, bedtime zone, I know to expect it. Mm-hmm. And so I go in there knowing, okay, I'm probably going to be in here a while. Yeah. And things, which is fine, which I love.
It's a touch point of the day. It's actually a good thing. But if you are really like, I go to bed at 10 o'clock, no matter what, or 9:30, no matter what, and you don't buffer for that, you don't see that as a privilege that you're going to get a little time with them to just hear their thoughts and be able to process with them, then it can be like, why are they doing this now? But if somebody says, hey, heads up. Yeah. They've processed their whole day and they're ready to download a little bit at 11 p.m. And you're like, okay.
And that doesn't change when they go to college because I have my college daughters. I get the text between 10 and midnight usually. Yeah. And that's when they're processing their day and they're like, let me tell you this, let me tell you that. Or can you help me with this? Right. And you just want to be present with that. So I do think about it. And I had a mentor years ago as well that said to me, one day you will miss this. When they are really off and on their own, you will miss this. And so that check-in that goes in my head a lot. And I will attest that my oldest, I don't have that daily check-in anymore. I mean, like it's every other day. Sometimes it might be once in the day, but so it does change, and I think that's okay. And we're growing with that, and it's fine. Right. But I can tell you that it definitely changes as they get older.
And not to resist it, not to fight it, but just to be like, okay, I want to be here for all the things.
Definitely.
And that's our encouragement today, is really just to say, however you're anticipating it, whatever you're walking through right now, to take some time and just pray and ask to have like a heart of openness to not just what your child needs from you, because I think you'll hear that a lot from us because that matters to us. Yeah. But what is God leading you to do?
Sure.
So for us, it's this joy and this privilege to be present with our kids and to be involved in all the things. And maybe you're in a situation where you're not as close to your kids right now and you're praying for that. Yeah. So how is God leading you to take that next step in that? And like, how can I be a strong parent, a godly parent, speaking truth into their lives, loving them, even if it's not like a day-to-day check-in thing. Maybe there's some distance there. And so I just want to
I'm very fortunate because I have all my kids still in the state with me. And so it does, that makes a difference. And I know that's not that way for everyone. Right. And I think it'd be a neat perspective to hear from some of our listeners, put it in the comments, tell us about things, because we want to engage with you. We want to know about some of the things that you're dealing with and struggling with. And so let us know that. We're also up on Well Grounded podcast on Instagram, and we'd love to hear from you on there. DM us, give us some information, feedback. We want to know.
How can we be praying for you?
How can we be praying for you and your kids? I know it's a struggle out there. And I said, I think today is definitely just about just laying it out there because, again, this has been one that I've been thinking about for a long time. I think when we made our list of podcast topics, this was probably one of my first ones.
Yes, it was.
Big emotions because it's just really
a place
hard.
to talk, a place to process, a place to think about it, and to let you know you're not alone. Like, honestly, there's just some of these things. It's not that we're offering you here's the greatest insight ever. You know, we're going to be as vulnerable as we can on the things that have worked and haven't, but we just want to leave you encouraged and refreshed.
And you had a great verse that you wanted to share too about that, in 2 Corinthians 12:9, Jesus says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness."
That's right.
And we're not saying weakness as in physical weakness always. We're just saying sometimes we feel worn down.
Yeah.
And this is when we do have to turn to our Father. We do have to say, give me that strength that we need for each day. Because sometimes these big emotions, these things that are going on in our lives do tend to be a burden to us. And if we do not cast our cares on God because he cares for you.
Yes.
Give him that burden. Let him know what's going on. And I'm guilty of that I don't always do that. You're great checking on me to be like, Diane, you need to make sure you are, how's your prayer time right now? How's your prayer life? Are you giving your time? Because if I'm not in the word or doing those things, then I feel more worn down.
And when you're doing it in your own strength, you're going to wear out faster than when you're doing it through him. So that grace, if your grace is expiring on something, we say, it's like, I need a fresh portion of that grace because his power is going to show up even stronger. So
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We're so glad to have y'all.
As we leave today, we always want to share our blessing over you, and that is so Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and that you may be rooted and grounded in love. And that comes from Ephesians 3:17. And that's just kind of the life verse that has been prayed over and thought about for this podcast. That's where our name came from, with well grounded. And we just really want to make sure that you feel that way as well.
Stay well grounded.
Be refreshed.
Be encouraged.
And stay well grounded.